Hello, Year Six. It's Miss J here with today's this is Wednesday, the 24th of June's book club. I hope you're all well and that you've all been enjoying this beautiful summer we're having. As you can tell, I'm a little bit hyper. I've had like two coffees now because I've got loads of meetings today, so I'm trying to like power through. Don't do that. Wouldn't recommend it. But I hope you're all well and you're all okay. As usual, I'm going to start with reading some of the answers to yesterday's book question, which was page 203. Is it time to enact the plan? Alfie had this thought in the back of his mind. What plan is he referencing? What might be the plan? So Pearl, for example, thought the plan was to get another life pearl and maybe use that so he could then take it to then like reverse the effects and grow up. Perhaps that might be the plan. Maya F thought that maybe his mum had said to him, if you find yourself in a situation when I'm not with you, do this. So Alfie would do the plan that his mum had told him about. She thinks the plan totally could be to find a trusted friend or adult to tell him everything and see if they could help him. Also, it could be to help him grow up. So a bit like Pearl's idea. So try and find that trusted grown up or friend or someone to rely on, take the pearl and then have them maybe bring him up or live with him or something like that. Now, I only had about 16 uploads just before I read any more. So, guys, please keep uploading. I'd like to have at least 25, and I will do it in a funny voice. That is the deal if I have more than 25 this week. So, yesterday I only had about 16, 12 to 16. So, guys, please try and pick it up a bit. Jasper thought that he's going to try and escape from the police and try and find this Jasper character. This character Jasper is nothing like you, so don't you worry, Poppet. And Poirez thought that the plan is if Alfie or his mum die, they have to keep following a plan made by them both to live peacefully in a quiet life without grabbing too much attention to themselves. So let's see. Today we're reading chapters, maybe it might give us an answer. So today we're reading chapters 47 to 49. So Sanjita drove me to a house on the terrace seafront in Culvercott, a big white villa with a name, Earl Grey House. There were square pillars either side of the front door. Inside it had high ceilings and smelt of food and cheap air freshener. A children's home. My home. I'm 1,000 years old and I live in a children's home. I miss my mum. I miss Biffa. Somehow nothing seems quite so bad when you are stroking a cat. Yet for several hours now I've been thinking only about the man with the beard and the scars, just like mine. Surely I imagined it. Surely. I was certain now that I recognised him from somewhere. Then, once again, the memory wriggled from my grasp. Well, that was odd. Chapter 48. I mean, Jasper running out of the house and all that, and Mum going after him and practically dragging him away from the car before he got arrested or something. Dad had been watching from the house. He's nuts, honestly, Marie. I knew there was something not right about him. Shh, Ben, said Mum, because Auntie Alice, who had seen nothing of this, was approaching with Libby behind her. Poor lad, said Jasper as he came back into the house. He grinned his long-toothed grin and then raised a hand to wave at the police officers who were still milling around outside. Thanks, fellas, he said, as if they'd done him a favour, which I suppose, by not arresting him, they had. Jasper seemed relaxed and confident, but he was faking it, I was sure. Perhaps it takes a bad liar to spot a bad lie. Ah, that poor wee lad. I just wanted to wish him all the best, you know. Oh, yeah, said Dad. It came out a bit aggressively, but Jasper either didn't notice or had to keep up the pretence. Yes, what an inconceivably rotten thing to have happened to him. I wanted to tell him the situation would only get better. Auntie Alice had missed all of this. She'd been talking in the kitchen with the policewoman she'd been at school with. What's up? She said innocently. Jasper got there first. Ah, not much. I was just trying to reassure that young fellow. He looks so lost, you know. Police said it wasn't the time or place. And, you know, they were probably right in hindsight. He turned and headed upstairs. Anyway, look at the time. We better be on our way, Alice, me old fruit pie. I kid you not, he talks like that. They were out of the house and back to their boat in Calvercott within half an hour. Jasper refused Dad's offer of a lift and phoned for a taxi. It was the strangest atmosphere. Everybody was behaving normally, and nobody was feeling normal. Libby had gone upstairs and not. Sorry, that's my alarm. Libby had gone upstairs and not come down to wave them off. As soon as the taxi had rounded the end of the close, Dad murmured, "Blimey! Don't want to see him in a month of Sundays." Mum slapped his arm playfully. "Ben, that's my brother-in-law." Dad tutted, "Brother outlaw, more like it." And our final chapter today, chapter 49. Night after night I slept badly. When you are as old as I am, there are not a lot of memories that can turn into bad dreams. There are a lot of memories, that can turn into bad dreams. The man's face kept coming into my mind when he leant down from at the car window, and each time I would reach for the memory, but it would elude me that I would wake sweating in the hot nights. My bed was covered with a duvet. I was used to sheets and blankets. I ate little. Mum and I were used to simple food. I do not know why, but Earl Grey House, where we were served foreign things like curry and spaghetti and peri-peri chicken, which burnt my lips. Pizza is all right. I do not mind pizza. I had been in Earl Grey House for a week, and everybody from Sanjita, whom I saw daily, to the children's home staff, led by a scary lady who was introduced to me as Auntie Reed, was being very gentle and sweet. There were 8 other children there of assorted ages. 2 of the girls smiled at me, but I did not feel much like speaking. The last person I'd spoken the truth to betrayed me to the police. Now I had to live in my life of lies. I do not suppose that the man with the never knows where I am now, but besides, I tell myself that I was probably imagining it all anyway. It's easier that way, from the time being, anyhow. Then the subject of Mam's funeral came up. I knew it would, of course. Sanjita had asked me if I wanted to go. I said yes. I have been to more funerals than almost anyone I've ever met, including old people. I had seen a headline in the local newspaper 2 days earlier: Wood's victim, simple funeral for tragic mum. Sanjita also asked if I wanted to help organise it, but I said no. So there we were, me and Auntie Reed on a Saturday morning outside Earl Grey House, waiting for Sanjita to take us up to Whitley Crematorium, where dead people are burnt instead of putting into a grave. I think Mam would have approved. We once saw a funeral for a Viking thane, or lord. I say Viking, he was Danish at least, but liked the old Viking ways because it was his family heritage. By then, his family had lived peacefully up on the Tyne for 4 or 5 generations. A floating platform had been constructed on the beach at Calvercott, although there was no village there then. The Thane's body was placed on it, surrounded with wood and sea coal, set alight and pushed out to sea. We all gathered and sang old songs and ate meat that the Thanes had provided. In truth, everybody knew that the most important people were ever buried on actual burning ship. For a start, you had to be able to afford a ship to burn. Alador Sven, the dead lord, was certainly not that important or that rich. He was, though, what you would now call a snob. He imagined himself to be grander than he really was, but we did not mind. The funeral feast was free. So the platform was set alight and pushed into the bay, where it drifted out beyond the rocks. It soon collapsed in a hiss of smoke. The following morning, Alador Sven's charred corpse was washed up on the shoreline. His grandson took it away and buried it in the ground somewhere. All of this flashing through my head as I stood outside Earl Grey House looking out over the bay. It was warm, and there was a slight breeze coming off the sea. I could see the exact spot a little way out of the bay. Somewhere Alador Sven's raft collapsed and sank, taking his half-burnt body with it. I could almost hear the chant and the sad songs that were being sung by everybody on the shore. There were probably BD that I remembered. Here we go. Foran them narafe nig werhud. Thonk snurata than him thath see. Are you all right? It was Sanjita's voice, and I turned round. She said it again. Are you all right? You were away with the mixer then, Alfie. I'm sorry. Were you saying something? No, but you were singing something. What was it? Nothing, Sanjita. Sorry. She looked at me, eyes narrowed for a moment. She'd done that a lot the past few days. Okay then. I was asking if you'd ever been to a funeral before. I must have still been in my half-dream state. I said, I have attended far too many. I thought you had said you had no relatives, Alfie. Is that because they've all died? She did not say this aggressively. Was she trying to catch me out? I felt that way. I was thinking of a reply when Auntie Reed came down from the steps of Belgrave House and ushered us along to the waiting car. I was I will avoid a long description of the funeral because nothing happened until the end. There were not many people there. There were me, obviously, Auntie Reed and Sanjita. I had a pair of non-jeans that Sanjita bought me and dark pullover. There was Verika and Robbie the fire investigations man. He winked at me and gave a tight little smile. That was nice of him, but I wish there were people I really knew, friends. Of course, that was impossible. I had even lost my cat. There was a reporter, too, with a camera, which she pulled away after Sanjita had a quiet word with her. I'm not sure what the reporter was expecting to see. Probably more people, I should imagine. There was a vicar, obviously. After all the words had been said and Sanjita squeezed my shoulder until almost, I almost asked her to stop, and the coffin disappeared behind a red curtain like an especially sinister magic trick. That was it. We turned to go, and I saw them, Roxy Minto and Aidan Lineker, standing at the back of the little chapel. So today, ladies and gentlemen, obviously this was quite a tragic chapter, so if any of you would like to talk, please don't hesitate. I'm always there for you, and obviously this is quite a difficult chapter for those of you who might have gone through something like this, so please know that I am here for you, and if you'd like to chat, don't hesitate to get in contact. So, your question today is quite a tricky one, but it doesn't have to be particularly long. It says, Alfie now lives in a children's home. Can you write a diary entry from Alfie's point of view about this time in the children's home? You could write about day one or the evening, etc. What is it like? What is the food like? People like? Place like? Who might be there? How might he be feeling? Use the information provided in the chapters to support your ideas and reference any key facts from chapter 47 to 49. I've also attached links that can help you to write diary entries. I hope you have fun with this and I hope that you're enjoying the book so far. Have a lovely day, ladies and gentlemen, and see you all soon. Bye.